And welcome into the League Down Under. It's the podcast that takes you inside the inner sanctum of our Dynasty League, and it asks the question, which side are you going to align yourself with? I'm your host, Ben, joined as always by my two co-hosts, Kenny and Hod. How we going, guys?
Good evening, Benjamin. I'll tell you what, there are three words that I will be abiding by this episode. It's community, trust, and respect. And I can tell you one thing, there is no greater certainty that this episode will do big numbers, Hod. How you going tonight, mate?
You are spot on there, Keeney. Big numbers indeed. He may be the favourite to take out the most followers in this season, but he's a man that needs no introduction. But for the sake of this pod, why don't we introduce him?
All right, I love it there. And we thought best way to introduce our guest on tonight's pod is to go around and say something each that we all think about this person when we think of this illustrious league here. So I'll kick it off, and my thing is that this guy, you know, he is. We've hinted at it before, but this guy, it doesn't matter what part of the season he's in, what year it is, he's always winning in Dynasty. He could be up, he could be down. He's just that kind of positive outlook kind of guy, you know? He's a real glass half full kind of guy.
Not ideal, but not catastrophic either.
And that's exactly how he sums up his philosophy when it comes to Dynasty. What about you, Kenny?
Well, speaking of philosophies, there's a real juxtaposition here between our guest and last week with Camo, because this man does have a clear-cut philosophy when it comes to trading in Dynasty, and it's pretty simple, really.
The DFF's number one rule to secret of success.
Yep.
Trade as little as possible.
Well, you heard it first about trading, but there's no way to sugarcoat this. This man has an immense knowledge of the league and the players in it.
Yeah, he came up to me and tried to give me the old Tua tag, whatever you pronounce his last name.
So
Jesus.
we've drawn out this intro long enough, but we will draw it out even more. The man who has single-handedly got one of Australia's darlings, Mike Brady, to write a song about him. We'll play his intro song and we'll bring him in.
Up there, the DFF, in there and fight. Out there,
Oh, just gives you goosebumps, doesn't it? It's real grand final-esque.
Yeah.
Up there, the DFF. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. For the first time, if you've never heard this bloke, Steph, the DFF GM. How we doing, mate?
Hey, Benny. Thanks for having me. Long time listener. First
Long
time in this pod for a long time. So happy to be here. Happy to answer all your questions. I know you guys have a lot of questions to throw at me. So really looking forward to this one. Brody Hoddick in his Marshall and Lynch jersey.
Skittles.
Skittles. He's dressed for the occasion. I haven't. I'm just in my ready for bed. It's 9:30. You told me it was on at 8:30.
Well, you might be ready for bed, but did you just get emotional before? Did I hear your voice crack?
A little quiver?
Yeah, it did crack. I was actually quite nervous coming on to this pod after seeing the great man Mike on last week, and he's a well-oiled machine. That bloke. He was the first guest on the pod, and he hit the ball out of the park. It was amazing,
tough act
mate.
to follow.
So,
He is a well-oiled machine, DFF, but what we didn't like about him was that he had no idea about this podcast up until last week. Now, you sound like you're in a different area. You sound like you've been tuned in from the get-go. Are you happy to have the pod back, and what's the feedback early days from you?
I'm happy to have the pod back, but it'd be nice to know when you actually air it, because I had a nice text message from Brody last week saying, have you listened to the pod? But I had no idea it'd been aired, so it'd be nice for you to actually communicate that you've recorded.
Well, if you were an avid listener, you could subscribe. You could click that bell icon for notifications. It's every Thursday morning, Australian Eastern Standard Time at 6 a.m. It drops.
Really?
DFF. So
6 a.m.
It's 6 a.m. That's right, because we know that one member of the league will already be up listening to his podcast for all of his fantasy football needs, Papa. So we wanted to be nice and early. We wanted to get everyone started on the day. But you are right. We have never actually advertised to stay tuned for the time that it drops. So 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on a Thursday morning.
Noted. I'll have that in the car with me first thing Thursday instead of a above and beyond set or some bangers.
He's never short of giving feedback, this man. It's extraordinary given his success. You'd think he's had some.
Yeah. I like how he flipped the script straight back onto us. Early days in the pod. But
really excited, boys. You look like you've got it down pat this time. So
this time,
this has only been 3 incarnations so far. So third time lucky.
He's come in guns blazing, our man. But what do you think of the comparison with the Cleveland Browns and the DFF? Talk us through that comparison that the great Hodcast made.
Oh, it's only a comparison. I think Benny was just trying to ruffle some feathers, and you know what? I'll take it. The Cleveland Browns. Shadoo Sanders.
Shadoo.
We're off.
Might be a sound grab there.
Jesus.
KC Conception, the number 106.
Jeez.
Oh, he's already dropped the draft pick. Speaking of the draft, should we dive into the big trade recently?
Yeah.
Yes.
Between yourself and Cometh the Man.
Sure, let's do it.
Sounds like last week Camo didn't have a huge plan with what to do with the pick. He just wanted to pick 2, 3, and 4 without any interruptions. Now, is it true that the DFF slid into the DMs of Camo and suggested this one?
To reach out to the great man.
Did ya? Went through the gram?
Prompt response as well on the old Instagram. So if anyone out there wants to reach out to him,
now
slide into his DMs that way.
I think he's back, our man. I think he's thirsty for some more trades. But talk us through coming up or going back. Sorry, from 4 to 6.
Going to say, Keeney, I've got it on the screen for anyone who's on video medium. But if you like Camo and you also didn't listen to the previous pod, run us through what the trade itself was.
Yeah. Well, we had our man on the pod, the DFF. He had the 104 and he slid back 2 spots to the 106, adding the 201. Obviously, picked 13 in this draft, which begs the question, are you comfortable with what's going to be there at 6? Have you got your eyes on who that's going to be? And did you feel like the player at 4 was similar to 6? Is that the reasoning for it?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I just want to address a few things here. And firstly, I want to address the great man, the executioners, just throwing some shade at the DFF after this trade went down, saying the general expert consensus. So just quickly, I don't believe in general expert consensus.
Yep.
Come prepared, ladies and gents.
We do not believe in general expert consensus at the DFF, and I think you can go back and ask the 31 teams that missed out on Tom Brady about general expert consensus, and also the 31 teams that missed out on Puka Nakua about general expert consensus, and then come back and then see if they're happy with what they did there. So we don't care about that. We don't care about draft grades. We just care about picking the best player possible that we think is going to make our team better for 2026 and beyond. And just to answer your question, because I've gone around in a circle here.
Because you haven't.
Yes, I do think there's some good players available at the 106, and I think there's some really good talent available at the 201 too. So I was a bit stuck between who I was going to take at the 104, so I thought, you know what, let's take this out of my hands and trade it to Camo and see what's available left at the 106. And I've got a few players that I'd be happy to take there. So if it's one or the other, it doesn't bother me. And then at the 201, I've got a few in mind too. So I think it was a good deal for both of us. And yeah.
Well, you might not believe in general expert consensus, but you do believe in a very north-facing camera. We can see up your nose for those. I do suggest, if you are listening, maybe this might be the one to jump on YouTube, because this will be a real treat. Now, you did trade back here. You have a very glorified trade forward in a previous draft. Did that scare you off because of what happened last time?
No, it didn't scare me off. I honestly believe that from the one, obviously out of the 101, the next 5 picks are pretty even. And I'd be like, there's a few positions there that I'd be happy to take. And then, yeah, like I said, I'm happy to put that into someone else's hands and just take the best available player. I needed 3 roster spots to fill. I only had, I've got 4 spots in my taxi squad. I'll pick someone up off waivers later on in the year or potentially make another trade, who knows. But I need to fill up 4 players, and this was another option to get me another pick in this draft. So that's the
I like that you're also future planning your one waiver wire ad for later in the year. I'm looking forward. Hey, Keeney, he did just allude to it there that he doesn't believe in general expert consensus, but then also you traded back because you want someone else to make the decision ahead of you, so you don't get confused there. But Keeney, you had some stats of some players that the DFF has drafted in previous rookie drafts. Maybe we can highlight or see actually if the DFF is a man of his word, that he doesn't believe in. You mentioned Tom Brady. That was one example you gave, and you sort of, I think, telling everyone that don't just get sucked into where people talk about a draft position, draft the talent in front of you. And that's been your philosophy, yeah?
Sure. You've got some. Have you got some historical data to suggest
data.
Yeah, we've got a bit, but are you referring to the QBs maybe that the DFF has produced out of the rookie draft?
Yep.
Is that? I wonder if Fernando was going to get to pick 4, and you're worried about picking another one.
Something? General expert consensus works the other way around too, mate. These quarterbacks that are getting picked at the top of the draft, their general managers are thinking they're home run hits, but they're not.
Yeah, no, and there is a lot of proof out there that the actual success rate of drafting a QB in real life is
less than
50%. So it's a coin toss, as our man Jake would say. So yeah, you're just having as many throws at the dartboard there. You obviously want to get it right more often than not, but are we going less than 50%, Keeney, with DFF's QBs?
Well, pick 2, Kenny Pickett. Pick 2, Zach Wilson. Pick 3, Trey Lance. Pick 6, JJ McCarthy. It's a lot of capital on 4 QBs, most of whom are white. Do you have another white QB that you like the look of?
Are you alluding to Ty Simpson here?
Well, Camo posed that as potentially an option for you at the
pick
106,
6.
so don't blame me.
Will you have another stab with QB in this draft? Don't have to say
Well,
where.
I won't be giving you that answer tonight. So
you don't have to. I mean, that doesn't mean you're taking him at 6. You could be taking a 4th round QB.
Potentially might be adding another quarterback at some point in my roster.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm glad you...
Vegas response at some point on my roster.
Glad we got a bit out of him there. I was actually going to ask about your taxi squad, because you're right. You've got 4 taxi squad spots open. You've got 3 picks in the draft. I thought, wow, does the DFF have something big planned? But then I looked at the one player in your taxi squad, and it's Kanada Mumfield from the Rams. Talk me through him and why he's on there and no one else is.
He was actually in a few looks later in the postseason. If you I think he actually cost the Rams the divisional title game, but that's a different story.
You're really selling it.
No fantasy points at that time of the season.
Jeez, I'm glad I asked about Kanada Mumfield. Oh, you got it all worked out, mate.
If Puka stays in rehab, he might be a real show. But this is a man that, he's well versed in the draft. He's had a lottery pick in every season, which should paint the picture of the success he has. But another great stat I had a look at the DFF starters. Justin Herbert, which was a big trade last year, but he's the only player in the starting lineup of 10 or whatever it is that he hasn't drafted. So this man loves his own, building the crops through the draft. So why don't we'll get to the draft, but why don't we get into the state of your team, DFF? And I might fire off a few questions just to get us started. But where do you believe your team currently sits in the Dynasty life cycle?
Look, I think my team's young enough. Justin Herbert and Sammy Darnold are 27, 28 respectively. So there's a young anchor of quarterbacks. I actually think Breece Hall is very well underrated this year. I think no one's given him a shot, and he's just signed, a pretty lengthy extension with the Jets.
The Jets gave him a fair
I think
shot.
that offensive line's going to improve. I think, adding a few more offensive weapons with Kenyon Sadiq and a couple of Omar Cooper, or whatever his name is.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
is going to allow him to, get his game going a bit rather than them just cramming the box that he doesn't have any chance and nowhere to run. So, I'm high on Breece this year. I'll
cut you off there. Before you answer every question that we might have for you tonight in one go, do you reckon your team's at the contender level? Are you in that title window yet, or are you still building? You're not rebuilding, but are you building?
Shot of winning the divvy, and history suggests that's all you need to do. I've got an arsenal of picks if I want to explore anything later on in the year. If I'm thinking, I'm a chance here, and I've got a pick in an upcoming draft, which is looking quite juicy.
Is it your own?
I think I'm right in that. I think I am in the window, and put a couple of nice early draft picks this year too, and I'm confident I can compete.
Take
Whether
note, listeners.
take it to the ultimate glory, time will tell. But I'm not going to say I'm not a chance. I'll say definitely in with a chance.
Yeah, it's a big year for the DFF, and something that perked my interest was he knew Kenyon Sadiq's name straight away, but not Omar Cooper. So what does that tell us about what's going through that little DFF brain of his?
Well, yeah.
He's tongue-tied. Is your camera frozen? No.
No.
I'm not.
No, it is, mate. I think
Kenyon.
I think you hit the nail on the head because
I have.
Jeez. It is a big year for your DFF, and I think you hit the nail on the head because you are, in my view, the favourite in your division. And it's probably the first time we've been able to say that for 6 or 7 years. Do you feel any pressure this year? 6, 7. Do you feel any pressure this year to perform? The expectation has never been higher for the DFF, the factory. You were made for this moment.
The straight cash homies called me the other day, and he said, "If you don't win your divvy this year, quit." I said, "No, I don't quit, mate. I'll be there for the long haul." But there is a little bit of pressure because my divvy is so average, and if I don't win it, there's something real wrong.
And Hod's got his hands on his head. For anyone not watching, that's 2 weeks in a row that this illustrious division's copping shade, Hod. But do you think, though, because, I did intro you, you're always winning in Dynasty, but now that the pressure's on that you're in the box seat for the division, are you going to have that same outlook if you're not getting wins each week? Are you going to feel the pressure?
Well, the reality is most of my other team members won't be getting wins each week too, so it's probably going to be putting me in good stead to be still winning the divvy. So the pressure will come if I get injuries, I think. And I can't afford to get early injuries, especially to the QB position. But, injuries are part of the game, and we'll wait and see. Hopefully I get a bit of luck on my side and I can maintain a healthy roster, which I haven't had historically, but no one's going to give me any credit there. But you know the facts.
No, it's true. That's a good point. Yep.
No, Keeney's of the highest integrity. I'm sure he does have the stats of your injuries there in all of his shade that he's got for you. But whilst good segue, we've probably summed up that you're in a big shot for the divvy this year, which means playoffs, obviously. So, what are your concerns? What are your strengths? Like, where do you see your strengths in your roster right now, and where you mentioned injuries? That's depth. Might be a weakness there, but talk us through the squad.
Well, I reckon definitely my wide receivers are my strongest point. We've got Ladd, Waddle, and Egbuka.
Imika Egbegbo.
I think those three are pretty elite. If Emeka can take his game to the next level, I think he could. Emeka.
Imika Egbegbo.
He
Not
can.
gonna get old.
Yeah, he can really catapult me into some big scores. So I think that's definitely my strength. I am obviously I'm a bit light on quarterback. Who knows? Kyler Murray, he's never had a season where he hasn't been injured, so that may happen again. And then I've got Carson Wentz and JJ sitting there. I'm not putting a line through JJ. I think he still has a great shot of being a good quarterback. He's only 21, 22 years old. First year was scratched, and he came in last year and was a bit underwhelming, but that doesn't mean it's the end of the world. He can sit back this year, take it all in, and you know what Kevin O'Connell's done with Darnold and a few of the other quarterbacks, like who's the Colts?
Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes.
So he's he's
Absolutely.
like I said, he's only 21, 22, so I'm not selling out on him yet either, because if I did that with Darnold, then I'd be sitting here saying I stuffed up, and I don't want to be doing that again.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you took the words out of my mouth, DFF. Of course you're not giving up on JJ, because you might be the only person in the world that persisted on Darnold. Not even the franchises that invested in him in real life did, but you saw that one out, and now he's a Super Bowl champion. 28 years old, he's gone up in value. I have got Dynasty Daddy up on the screen for you, DFF. I don't know if you can see. This is giving you a breakdown of your team here. It's got you in the tier of frisky. It's got you as a frisky team. So it is your assessment right now of you're a chance to win the division, make playoffs, and then see what happens. It's a pretty good summary of how you said it before, frisky. So your starter rank in the league, it's got you 7th strongest from just a pure starter list, and then 10th overall from a dynasty point of view. So that probably does play into what you were saying about hoping you don't get some injuries early. It's got your biggest riser as Breece Hall, and that makes sense with the contract he signed. Your biggest fall of your list is JJ McCarthy. Makes sense with the Kyler signing there, but you are a man who is going to persist all the way through on that one, and it's a pretty balanced sort of list makeup here that it's showing there. So just a really quick, if you're watching this, here's some players on the screen. Anyone listening, you got Herbert, Emeka,
Imika Egbegbo.
you got Breece Hall, Ladd, McConkey, Jalen Waddle, Sam Darnold, DeAndre Swift, Dalton Kincaid, and then
talent.
that's where even old Bill Krosky Merritt here,
Keith
just
Mitchell's
sneaky there.
interesting.
Keith Mitchell,
RB1.
Yeah.
RB1, the 7th rounder. You've got Darnell Mooney still hanging around on your squad.
Is that your Giants this year, Ben?
What a
He
pick.
is, and
What a
he
pick.
very much could fill that outside second wide receiver role that they have been trying to get Darius Slayton to play forever. So he's, I think, going to go up as some sneaky value this year. Just 28 years old there. You've got your tight end Cole Kmet that you've been tied to forever. Luke McCaffrey, because you knew that surname, I reckon, was part of the drafting there. And then Zach Wilson, of course, you're still hanging on to him. You can't let go of a QB. What do they call that, Keeney? A sunk cost fallacy?
Believe so,
Something
yeah.
like that.
Believe
So there's
But there's a bit there.
There is.
A
There's
bit more than
some talent
Camo. A bit more than
there.
Camo.
Yeah,
But
far
it's
more.
it's interesting, DFF. Like you sort of said, your QBs are a bit light. I don't think they're that bad at all. Like I think Herbert and Darnold's a pretty good starting two. Yeah, you're not super deep, but who knows? As you said with JJ, I think that's good enough to have those two as your starters. I want to know, sort of at the 106, is that going to be a pick for need in terms of a roster position, or do you think you'll just try and get whatever? If there's a name that slips, that's maybe not as neat. You said your receivers are really strong. If a strong receiver slips versus, say, a running back or a tight end, what's your viewpoint there? What's your philosophy?
Look, I'm pretty certain I know who's going to go before me. I'm pretty certain I know who I'm going to get. But if someone doesn't get picked, well, I'll definitely entertain it. But I'm steadfast in adding to a position which I think is a pretty big need of mine. So
Well, let's not talk in bloody circles here. We've got the top five's done. So we've got Love, Mendoza, Tyson, Tate, and Lemon. Do you think that's locked in? So we're talking with you, KC Conception, as you described. You've got Jadarian Price. You've got Kenyon Sadiq. I'm throwing those three out there. Do you think that's, to answer Keeney's question, are they positions of need?
I think that's a likely scenario, yeah. But I don't know if Camo's playing smoke and mirrors. He was saying last week he was going to go to 3 wide receivers. Who knows? He might be bluffing. So I'm not going to be getting too romantic with who's going to be there. I'm just going to. I've got a few in mind that I'm happy to take, and whoever's available, I'll pounce on and be happy with.
Smoke and mirrors behind the curtains.
Can we just rule out, because we have seen it before, you're not trading back up from the 6?
I'm not trading back up
to 4.
I will not be trading back up from the 6, but I will also not be saying who I'm targeting at the 106. So that's not the way I go about it.
Now, there's obviously a bit to play out, DFF, but I also want to throw this hypothetical at you. If someone, say, Camo, who owns the whole first round, as we know, if he sort of said, hey, how about sliding back another couple of spots to 8 for whatever he gives you? Maybe he gives you 12. 8 and 12 for 6. How do you feel about that situation?
I would slide back, but I'd be happy to slide back, but I wouldn't be happy to take any more picks in this draft. And that's not due to general expert consensus. That's due to I think I've got enough talent deep in my roster that will stack up this year. I think Devon Valley at the Saints is going to be a big riser for me. I think, as Ben alluded to earlier, Darnell Mooney at the Giants could get some looks in. He signed a 1-year, $10 million deal. It's not peanuts. I actually rate him.
Sorry, did you just say Mooney?
Yeah, Mooney.
So this is a big one, boys. I don't know if you saw the news, but Malik Neighbours had a second surgery, and it's very, very concerning. It's not, but you don't have a clean-up surgery that far after. He's got some
scar tissue.
It's just to watch this space. Malik Neighbours might be out for a considerable amount of this year, which is disappointing because he's such a star, but it brings Darnell Mooney right in, who is a good player, Mr. Irrelevant in our startup draft.
And I also like my boy out of Tennessee there, Alec Ayamana. He looks like.
How is that the one name you pronounce correctly?
Yeah, well,
that's incredible.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there you go, man.
Alex had a boner.
But yeah, I think he's going to be a bright spot in their offense, and he's flying under the radar too, especially after the Carnell Tate pick. He had a lot of looks last year, and they brought in Wandale Robinson too, so they'll get a lot of attention, and I think they'll still go to their Sofa Ball rookie wide receiver. So yeah, I've got a lot of pieces I like there. So if anyone's wanting to trade up with me, I wouldn't be accepting any more picks in this draft. I'd be happy to go down a bit and potentially look at acquiring some picks in the next draft or beyond.
Ooh, I like how he's used this public forum.
It's very
to really,
clever.
get that message out. And it's pretty clear that he's right across his roster, boys. He's all over what's on the DFF's list, and I just wonder how much detail do you have on other teams' rosters? Because if there was a player that you could grab off any roster right now that you could plug into yours, DFF, who would you take?
I had a good think about this afternoon at lunch.
What'd you have for lunch?
Well, yeah, what? Yeah, yep.
I had a very, very long
First meal of the
morning,
day.
so I just snuck in a quick foot-long chicken teriyaki sub down in Hastings there. But
What sauce?
Quickly run us through the order. What salads? What
Bread.
the type
Start
of
with the bread.
bread? Is it toasted?
I'm trying to go the lower calorie options now. So I get the chicken teriyaki because you got a nice protein hit.
Yep.
And then you just go the Swiss cheese with just a bunch of salads and some sweet onion sauce, and you're rocking around 700 calories there, Ben. Nice and filling, and you're not chucking on the kilos.
Do you? Is that how you ask them when they say salads? You go just a bunch of salads.
Run it through the garden.
Run it through.
Give him some specifics, but yeah, whilst I was indulging in my sub, I was looking at some of these questions Hoddick threw at me this morning, and the player that I fell on for this exact question was Brock Bowers. I think coming into what is it, year 3 now?
Yep.
He hasn't set the world on fire. He's had a couple of solid seasons, but
QB upgrade,
quarterback upgrade, new coaching staff, and I just think he's ready to explode. And I think in a tight end premium position, what is he, 23, 24? I think he's going to take his game to the next level. So I actually don't know who has Brock Bowers. I thought it was you, Keeney, but
Manny doesn't.
No, Manny does.
Yeah, smartest man in the world. I'm not sure you could throw anything at Brock Bowers and get him. I think he's one of the untouchables. It would take a lot of an overpay to even get him to entertain that one. But you didn't tell us the bread. Was it on a dark rye?
No. Just the wheat or white, Brody.
Speaking,
Which one?
I actually asked the attendant, can I have the freshest one? Because sometimes they give me bread and it's stale, it tastes awful. So I just go, just give me the freshest loaf you got.
Which airline were you on? Which attendant?
what movie? Speaking of bread, though, boys, there's a few little breadcrumbs being dropped here on the in the rookie
platform.
draft. Brocky Bowers, the tight end, is it of interest? Okay.
He likes the best position in world sport, is what we're hearing.
I haven't seen. Is Kenyon Sadiq white or black?
Who I'd acquire if I could for nothing. I said Brock Bowers would probably be my number one.
I love it, DFF.
I think he'll put up scores of, you'll see him get scores of 30 or more in games this year.
He's a star.
Yeah. It's good start for Kirky Cousins throwing in the ball this year.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's a pretty crazy acquisition too. I didn't see that coming.
Well, they interestingly said today that Mendoza it might be a red shirt year. Everyone wants him to get in, but they had Kirk Cousins on their season banners.
Right.
So you can't.
Have you seen the social media stuff they're putting out too? They're doing stepbrother parodies between them.
It's
and
very good.
It's pretty good.
Very good. Yeah,
All right, Kenny,
right.
are you running through the trade and draft or the trade strategy question still? You got?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things before we get to one of them. I like how Camo goes about his Dynasty watching mornings. Take us into the mind in the morning of the DFF on a Monday morning. How do you watch it? Are you checking sleeper? What's the mindset with watching and knowing?
I'm glued to my phone.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm completely opposite to Camo, who doesn't look at the scores. I'm looking at those scores go up and getting frustrated and throwing my phone around a bit and throwing a few profanities out there. But I'm right into it on the Monday morning.
Ride the roller coaster.
Ride the roller coaster. Well, I would that I know it's a different league, but that last game against Jimmy Hansen in the 2-minute drillers when I needed a 40 from Purdy and Loveland, and that was on the edge of my seat stuff. I was running around the house giving people high fives.
To fill everyone else in who doesn't know about, we've got our redraft league here, and Steph is talking about him and the GM of the Gym City Stallions, who's also in our redraft league. We're in the Pancake Bowl, as we call it. It is the bottom place bracket, and you were in the final. and the loser has to do the pancake parlor challenge. And I know a lot of people are familiar with that challenge now. There's lots of variations. 24 hours in the pancake parlor, an hour off for every pancake you eat. The DFF has done that before. He has lost it, and you were in the box seat to potentially be there again. And you
It wasn't a good feeling. I don't know if you remember, but I was trying the old reverse Moz stuff on social media, and it looked like it paid off dividends because I didn't think I was a chance with Purdy and Loveland going into that final game. But
it's a big ask.
poor James has to sit through that in the next couple of weeks. So suck, James.
It's a desperate but necessary strategy, the old reverse Moz. There's no doubt about that.
Done.
But there's no greater feeling
play.
there's no greater feeling than chasing down a score in Dynasty or redraft, I reckon. It's one of the great feelings of a Monday. No doubt.
It is, but we're not there to talk about redraft, so let's continue with the Dynasty chat, fellas.
Ooh, I like the way.
A new host.
The DFF turned the question into a redraft answer and then told us to get back on track. I love it.
He's either running the ship or he's ready for bed. But before we get on to
2 hours ago, Hoddy.
All right. Before we get your perception of the league, which is what we all want to hear, I'm pretty excited of what you think about the others, and you've got the second chance in the league to have a go at them. But let's go back to the trading. We've got some great stats for your trades over the history of this league, but off the top of your head, or if you haven't thought about it, what's your favourite trade that you've ever done in this league? And name and shame who it was against.
Yeah, another one at the old lunch this afternoon. I actually couldn't go past the trade I did with Jimmy Ansard, where I actually did what I did last week with Camo and moved back in the draft. But I acquired Justin Herbert and let go of Russell Wilson. And with that pick I acquired off James Hansen, I got Egbuka, and he got
Imika Egbegbo.
And he got the what's his name from Tennessee, the quarterback?
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that one. So Justin Herbert and Egbuka can't go wrong. So I think that's was probably my best trade to date.
Very good.
It's pretty
How
good.
many trades do you think you've done, and where do you sit in the league ranks over the 6 years?
Well, I don't have an exact number, but let's have a stab in the dark. I'll go. Yeah, I know you do. You're the stats man up there. What do we got? I don't know, 15?
How many? 15?
In 6 years.
So let's go. Hang on. There's been 600 trades
In the league, total.
in the league.
All right, well, I actually haven't counted my trades, but I'll say 15. So if it's wrong, tell me what it is.
You sell it, Thayers.
Chuck it in the group.
Nah, it's
Called me the other day, the great man, and just getting off context here, but I haven't heard from him in a while, so he's doing well.
You are using this. As a platform to start
That's a social
trades and
platform.
reach out to mates. That's good.
We now know why he was emotional at the start. He misses him.
Yeah, he does.
So it's
How
more than
good's
15?
that ceiling going? Can't even
20.
see your chin right now.
24 trades for the DFF.
24. There you go.
24.
Is that coming in at 12, Christopher?
Number
It is
11.
Who would have traded less than you in our league if you had to have a guess? One player's traded less.
Tim McMahon.
Oh, he's nailed it, ladies and gentlemen.
Wowee. He's
Well
good.
played. Knows his league.
You know
right.
you know in that Herbert trade, you also got our boy Egbuka. And you
Imika
also
Egbegbo.
Jeez, it's going to be good. Going to get a bit of use at. And you also got Terence Ferguson in the deal. You got a second rounder on top as well. So nice little deal there by the DFF. That's a ripper. What about the other end of the spectrum? What's one of the worst trades you look back on and go, whoa, the factory probably had to let go a couple of workers after that one.
Let's have a...
Doesn't exist. That's an
I'll have a
easy
look
answer.
because I had that written down somewhere.
Yeah.
I
written
can't remember.
You can't remember what you wrote down or where you wrote it?
Actually, no, here it is. Yeah, I can't remember what I wrote. It's 10 past 10. Give me a break. Trading up with, I can't remember. It was you, Hoddick. Trading up with you to take Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
That hurt.
That's a great one. Traded up to the 101 spot and then
102.
came in hot. Oh, 102, sorry. Came in hot on draft night, waiting, desperate for Manny to arrive. And wheel and deal, thinking he was in need of a QB, and that conversation went less than 30 seconds.
No, but the general expert consensus was Pickett would be okay, but he wasn't. So, you know what? We don't think about general expert consensus, do we, Ben?
Well, one of our league members had a very general expert opinion on Kenny Pickett.
The guy with small hands.
That was Papa's takeaway on draft night, I reckon.
Maybe Papa should have been the GM of the Steelers.
Maybe.
The ramblings of a madman.
Any rationale behind that claim?
I was just saying, like, he didn't think he was a good pick.
Not with the tiny hands.
Yeah.
Let's get stuck into the league. I really want to hear your thoughts on the rest of the league, us, whoever you have in your sights. But let's start from the top. Who do you think is the most overrated team in the Empire Dynasty League right now?
Probably have to say the Executioners. I think he was a one-year wonder. Might call him, that's his new nickname, one-year wonder. I think there's a good chance that he doesn't make the playoffs this year.
Oh,
I'm going to have to stitch it up because that had some very Donald Trump-like sound effects. And I'm going to give him a nickname. Sorry.
That's music to my ears, DFF, because I've got his first next year.
Well, there you go.
It's true.
It's going to be a top six.
he's
first,
a one-hit
potentially,
wonder.
Top six.
All right,
What do we call him?
one-hit wonder. So you've gone with who's the most overrated. Who's one bad season away from a full emotional rebuild?
Well, I couldn't go past you here, Benny.
Oh, here we go.
I think it's already started with
It's already,
handball and the guy
Mahomes?
to your left, the old Patrick Mahomes. So one more terrible season, I think you could be selling
Fire
up.
sale. Fire
Fire
sale.
sale.
While we're on it, though, I think this trade's going to get some airtime because I've got some thoughts on it, but we'll wait for that for your reviews. But what did you think of the trade, Steph? Where are you at on it?
Look, I understand both sides, but I think my early thoughts on it was I think Chris Keane hit this one out of the park. I think
Really?
Mahomes is still a lot to offer this league, and yeah, I don't know what old Benny Boy was thinking there, but anyway, it's
By
his
Hod's
roster. If he
reaction,
wants to stuff around with it, then good luck to him.
By Hod's reaction, I think it sums up why the trade got done, because I think Hod might think the opposite. So that's normally the sign of a good trade, where it's got it's got some risk attached to it, but it all depends on how good the class is next year. It all depends on how Mahomes rebounds off the back of his knee, and he hasn't been a super, without trying to defend Ben so much, he hasn't been super fantasy relevant for a couple of years. So, anyway, that's just
He's
my thoughts
durable.
in a nutshell.
He plays a lot of football.
He does.
So
He's literally
you're
coming
gonna
off an
get,
injury, though.
15 to 20 points out of him at the lowest point of his scoring, and then if he he gets Rashee Rice back this year and a few other draft picks coming into the equation, I think he could be back to the old Mahomes. But I was just surprised Benny did it. So
Well, maybe DFF, it's because I jumped on the old website Dynasty Daddy, not a sponsor, and I wasn't listed as frisky, and I needed to do something to mix up my roster. I'm no longer frisky, so look, it's an interesting part of Dynasty when you play the all-in game. There's got to be a certain point where you've got to start thinking about the future, and not all of us DFF have held on to our draft picks so diligently like yourself. So we'll get into my team a bit later, but I have had far less first round picks than you have had in our 6 years in the league. So it's got to come from somewhere.
No, that's fair enough. But I was a couple of misses away from being a legitimate contender. So the, I
What were the
didn't.
misses?
No, if Zach Wilson and Trey Lance hit, I reckon I'd have a ring by now. But they didn't, and that's okay.
So
If my-
what we're hearing is Ben's had far less picks, but he might have hit on the same amount in the first round.
Well, yeah, potentially.
In the words of a great Italian cook, if my auntie had wheels, she'd be a bike.
I think it's grandma, but anyway,
Oh, whatever.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it, Brody?
it is absolutely. Just yeah. Ask Keely about that joke. That's no. Oh, well, he didn't like my hotcakes one last week, so that one just sounds beautiful.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Hey, DFF, I reckon you've got to be congratulated. I've got to put it out there. You do have a significant presence online in Insta. The DFF, the factory is doing some numbers. How are you going? How are you going building the fan base?
I just got a notification yesterday, I think it was, that the great dual nearly try championship EDL man, Jakey Pantis, has started following me. So that's put me up to eight followers. So I think I'm leading
Might be leading the pack.
leading the pack.
Well, if your franchise, the Great DFF, had a headline that you could predict at the end of the year, and maybe this could go in the bio on your Insta page, this prediction, what would it look like? What can we put down there?
I've written this one down too. So what is it?
Off the cuff. Better be good.
There it is. Super Bowl Sammy, not only winning the DFF Hedgekeys, but winning him titles.
Oh,
Worth the
true.
wait.
Yeah.
Talking about that, those 4 Henchkeys, you make sure they're there draft night, boys.
Who are you talking to?
You know who I'm talking to. There's 4 people in this league
Okay.
that owe me a Henchkey, and
Go
I'm just
name and
saying,
shame. Name and shame. Was one of them a champion last year?
yes, one of them was a champion last year. Michael Papagiris, aka the Punishers GM. Matty Matthias McMahon. And the man to my left here in this little box, Christopher Keane.
4.
Sammy D versus Justy Fields.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's true.
Pay up.
If they're not all 4 wines aren't there on draft night, the draft's stalling at the 105 and I'm packing up and going home.
That's all right.
1 year wonders, just getting over his bout of
I'm
dengue
just
fever.
reminding you nicely, fellas. A bet's a bet.
Now,
Hold the draft to ransom.
whilst you do hold the draft at ransom, talk us through. I've got a 1A and 1B here for you. So the first one, and you need to learn about how we defend our division, firstly, but how proud will you be if you claim your first crown for the best division in world sport? And then following that, what's your realistic title window here? Is it just a 1 year wonder like Scoot? Or do you think you're building for a little bit of a dynasty here? Where are you
That's
at?
the idea, Hoddick. I'm not there to. That's why I keep holding my picks, because I'm on there. I've got great feeling that if I'm offloading my picks for short term success, it's going to really hurt me down the track. And I know there's low hanging fruit there with different players, and it's so easy to click that trade button. But yeah, I think if I win this divvy, I can compete for the next couple of years at least. I've got some good plans and good strategies in place to do so.
And you've achieved a lot in life. Would be winning the best division in world sport be right up there?
It'd be a great accolade, yeah, for sure. It'd be floated all over my Instagram. Don't you worry about that. But yeah, no, it'll be. I think that's going to eventuate, mate. So you wait and see how I celebrate that one.
How many wins do you think it'll take? 3, 4? maybe 5.
What's the
to win
line?
the division.
Oh, I think that would be that should be pretty close to it, mate. Yeah.
5 and 9 gets it done.
You've been averaging, I think it's
3.8.
8.
I think it's
3.8
pretty
wins a
unlikely that
season.
I'll go 5 and 9 when I'm playing each member of my divvy twice.
That's right.
Yep.
So
Must be
I
nice.
think I'm going to pip a few elsewhere. So I foresee myself to win that around the 8, 9, 10 games this year potentially.
Henschke on the 10?
He wants the Henschke back. What, are you serious?
Absolutely.
Let's talk
Confirmed?
turkey.
Pay up your first one first.
That's true.
Right.
I mean, you touched on it. How do you? I know you had the realistic title window, but I reckon DFF. Did you just say it before? Is it 2 years? Did you basically say in the next 2 years is your window?
No, I said that why I don't trade my draft picks gives me it just gives me an opportunity to compete for longer. So I could give away some of my immediate draft picks now and definitely know I'm going to compete. But I don't want to do that because I think that is a short-term plan. There is no long-term strategy there. I think you're pretty much shooting yourself in the foot. And I won't do it. I won't listen to the outside noise to say sell the house to do so. And I think the best way forward is hit your draft picks, build up nicely, and then attack the league as best you can. So
Then why did
At
you
the
like
start
the
of the-
Mahomes trade so much?
yeah.
why did I like it?
Yep.
I just think Mahomes is a Hall of Fame quarterback. I don't think he's. I've seen him at his best, and I know what he's capable of, and I think the last 2 years haven't reflected that, and I think he can get back to those levels.
Doesn't that
So
go
if-
against trading your draft picks for proven players?
No, I wouldn't have. Would I have traded my draft picks for Mahomes? But look, potentially. But that's a different kettle of fish. He's a superstar, so.
Okay. Well, at the top of the pod, you did say that
Ben never entertained that offer to me, so
it's true. It's
own-
but
his own
I
fault.
also know the DFF's rule, and is if I initiate a trade discussion, it's not getting done. You have to start to get the ball rolling for a trade to get completed. I reckon of your 24 trades, you probably started the conversation in maybe all of them, possibly 23. I don't know. You did start at the top of the pod though, saying that if you're in with a chance this season, at the pointy end of the season, you've got a nice juicy pick in the 27 draft and it could be up for grabs. So which one is it? You've just said that you're a man who likes to hold his picks and selling off is short term, or is it that will the temptation be there if you are looking at a potential title tilt?
We'll wait and see, Ben. There's a lot of water to go under the bridge there. There is. What do I think is going to be available?
Whoa!
Sorry, check your internet.
What?
What's going to be available early in that 2027 draft? As in, where do I think I'm going to finish and what I'm going to pick? Is there going to be someone there that's going to, establish themselves into a legitimate star for me, or am I going to try to trade the pick and get someone established already? We'll wait and see. I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead. But I'm just saying it's open. The idea is
There's
there.
options.
Eventually.
There's options. And I think we all acknowledge on the pod that your roster is looking healthy. I think we've all acknowledged that it's a nice little starting lineup. So let's take us into the mind here, DFF, of your starting group. Who are you, doesn't have to be a starting group, but of your roster, who are you irrationally high on? Who is someone that you are just well above market on that you think is going to have a monster year? You mentioned Brees before, but is there someone else?
Well, again, I'll say my man, Mr. Cummins, last week said Hampton was his one, which, it was not a bad pick, but I'm going to go to his backup running back. And I'm going to say bringing in Mark McDaniels to that Chargers offense. I think Keaton Mitchell 2 years ago in that Baltimore offense was explosive. He didn't get a lot of looks last year. I think they were pretty cautious with him, and he just signed a two-year deal with the Chargers, and I think he will be used a lot, whether it's as a running back or little short yardage catches or whatever it is. But I think he's going to be one that to really watch for me this year, and I will be really happy to see him back at full health.
All right. Well, we're going to start with our final wrap up weekly questions here, mate, and that is you've been 4% of the total league trades out of the 600 that's taken place in this league. So there's not many to I don't know if you've probably not traded with every single person, but who do you refuse to trade with in the league, and who do you enjoy trading with?
Look, Tim's very hard to trade with, and I don't refuse to trade with him. It's just it's irrational to trade with him because the compensation that you're getting back from him just isn't enough. So I don't look. You got to up your game there, Timos. But I've never traded with you, Ben, and it's nothing personal. I just think there's a bit of an arrogance to you that I don't know. There's just weird aura about the trading with you that I think you feel like you're going to get the upper hand all the time, and I don't like it. So
there we go.
That's probably you, mate.
Okay, so who do you enjoy trading with is the other part of the question.
I think Jimmy Hansen is just an easy pickings man. So a bit of low hanging fruit kind of stuff there. So I've done my best work, taking all of his good players and picks. So thank you, James.
That's what we do in the best division of world sport. We prop each other up. How do you feel about that, Ben? That's a bit of a whack.
Mate, it's what do they say? It's a form of flattery. The guy starts his Instagram page. What's the very first post he puts on there? It's a picture of the mighty Park City Lions. There's
You like that one, Eddie?
jealousy is the biggest form of flattery, mate. So I'll take it every day of the week.
Oh, good little bit of banter back and forth. I like it.
I feel like we've learnt that. I think the DFF's a bit mad he didn't get Mahomes from.
I know. Maybe you
Is it-
could have.
Didn't even entertain it to me, so he could have got more than what he got for Keeney, but that's his own fault. So
Yep, that's
DF
true.
The DFF can't go and seek out trades with anyone.
No, it doesn't happen.
Wait for the
Well,
inbox.
I will take that in. The next time someone offers me a trade, I will
Run it by you.
just say, hey guys, hold fire. I'm going to
good.
check with the DFF and see if maybe that arrogance can be put aside and maybe we can get a deal done.
like
I
it.
think it could be good
Like
for the
it.
league. I think it would be great.
Yeah.
Let's work towards it.
Did we get a bold prediction from the great man?
We haven't yet, mate.
All right, beautiful. This is going to be the segment before the big finish. So, DFF, give us one bold prediction for your own team this season. Can be anything.
Egbuka, wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
Imika Ekpegbo.
Perfect.
Got a good run tonight.
That has
Oh, yeah.
got, I mean, that button's getting worn out on the soundboard there, but
Come on,
DFF,
As you can see, I'm quite big on that fella, so I think he's going to have a great year.
might very well be one of your finest draft picks there. He had an absolute phenomenal rookie season. But DFF, you know, this is the part of the pod where we get our guests on. You are the second person to be on the pod, and this is the time where the floor is yours. You know, for anyone listening who's made it an hour into hearing just the inner workings of the DFF and what they're about, sell them. How are you going to get more followers on the old Instagram page?
How am I going to get more followers on the old Instagram
Or
page?
just like, how do you want to sell your team to the impartial listeners out there who are looking to align themselves
All right,
with one of these
let's
12
sell
teams?
them now, all right? This was written down in my...
Lunch.
No, not in my lunch. When Brody told me I was going to come on at 8:30, I didn't actually come on till 9:30. So I've got a nice little.
That's because you took half an hour to work out technology, mate.
So all right, you three, you just quieten down, all right?
All right, I'll mute.
And you take a good look at my roster. Every year during draft season, people fall in love with names and past reputation. But fantasy football in 2026 isn't won by looking backward. It's won by identifying volume, massive offensive roles, and explosive talent. I'm here to tell you right now my squad is about to boom. Let me break down exactly what you're looking at, a future champion. The verdict? I have the reigning Super Bowl champion quarterback, a top 3 locked and loaded elite running back, a sophomore wide receiver on the verge of true number 1 wide receiver breakout status, and one of the most explosive deep threat wide receivers in the NFL. Up the DFF. Good night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. Over and out.
Did the sign off. Oh, can you at least finish with the DFF song? Good old
Me singing
DFF?
it?
Yeah.
Good old DFF forever. They know how to play the game. Side by side we stick together to uphold the factory name. Oh, blimey. See the barrackers are shouting, as all barrackers should.
Hey.
All the Empire Ball's a cakewalk for the good old DFF. Later.
Oh, well played.